Well, thank you, Karl. You'll quickly find out what the relationship with Karl is. But InvestNewMexico.us, I originally had set up as a equity crowdfunding portal. After going through many rounds with FINRA, where we quickly found out that we in New Mexico, we're looking to raise money for businesses at a small level. It just did not work out economically to have a equity crowdfunding. When the Opportunity Zones came up, the governor and the Economic Development Department were very interested in what we were doing and asked if we would maybe take a look at that. So we took a look at the Opportunity Zone legislation and immediately got very excited. What happened in New Mexico is first we decided that we were going to set up multiple opportunity funds. But the first one we would set up is what we call the Opportunity Fund Zone 2020. And we have formed it up to set up to invest in companies in New Mexico. One of the things about, I had this conversation with Cory Booker not too long ago. If you look at the opportunity zones throughout the country, they're all in real estate areas where you have buildings that they want to build up. Well, if you look at New Mexico, you see a desert, a desert. You don't see a lot of these buildings. So we decided the first fund we would focus on setting up businesses. And our priority immediately we set out that we want to protect the investor's principal and offer a reasonable rate. So as we talk to investors, we want to offer them a reasonable rate. A little bit about myself. I'm a film producer and television producer. So I raise money to make film and television. One of the hardest areas to raise money for, because it's hard to show a profit over a short term, and it's usually a 7 to 10 year rate of return, which is kind of unique because that's where we're looking at here. Number two, to create good paying jobs. We struggle in New Mexico. We're a very poor state. We're a poor state with a huge state investment council, so I'm at every meeting beating them up as much as I can, But number three is support small and local businesses. So we want to invest in small and local businesses that operate in opportunity zones. Our goal is to incubate and fund, and what we're looking at in the small businesses in New Mexico are a proven concept, some management that can take the company. But what we want to fund is we want to fund the ramp up. What I call the ramp up in New Mexico is that we get their sales up so that we can get them into a next round of funding. What happens a lot in New Mexico is we have labs and we have a lot of government, Los Alamos lab. We have technology coming out, and what happens is there's a lot of technology companies that set up, and then they set up and they look for funds, and there's no funds. So what happens is they end up going to the Silicon so we lose those funds, and we say we fund and incubate some of the greatest technology, and including Microsoft. Bill Gates started in Albuquerque, but couldn't grow the company there, And then our last real need is a path for New Mexico college graduates to find careers in the state. We have a huge brain drain in New Mexico. We educate them, but there's no jobs. So that was one of the things we set up that we were very, very, very much wanted to do. I am a film producer, and I own investment in several of these companies. So one of the things I did is I went out and I found two fund managers. My fund managers, my name's Segura, but his name's Segura, but I know we're related somewhere in the tree of New Mexicans. But and Leticia Montoya, their husband and wife, they had a securities firm in Santa Fe that they built up, $300 million in managed money. They sold to Wells Fargo. They were retired. I convinced them to come out of retirement. The other part was to set up a strong advisory board. Rudy Becerra, good friend of mine. His mother's a Segura. And Rudy was the Ronald Reagan's Latin Affairs Director. Went on to be the Senior Vice President of Latin Affairs for Coca-Cola. Has since retired. He's advising us, and he's working with us on, after we ramp him up, how do we get that Series A in the next round of funding, and how we get corporate sales. The next advisor is Mary Herrera. Mary was former Secretary of State, and she works with us on tax issue. And then we needed a real gun in Opportunity Zones, and I had to come to Colorado. Actually, he came to New Mexico to pitch us, and that's where we met. And the last gentleman is a gentleman by the name of John Moore, who came out of the Bay Area. He had some companies in the Bay Area. He runs a program called STEPS, which is an incubator company, a nonprofit. So that's kind of our nonprofit arm. And again, when we have a couple of companies that we didn't feel they're ready to ramp up, so they go into that program. A little bit about the fund is we're looking to raise $25 million, and we're going to look to fund at 20 companies. I come from the film industry. In the film industry, we fund movies in what we call a tentpole model. We know that that most of our films aren't going to make money, but 2 or 3 of them are going to be big successes. That's our idea, and that's the idea of funding the 20 companies. We know that probably five will fold or be sold out, and then we'll reinvest that money into the fund. So I'm following this and not that.
Yeah, so let's go to questions.
Okay, so just one quickly. So where we're looking to invest in is affordable housing, manufacturing, agriculture, film and emerging media, technology transfer, and tourism. Those are the areas that we know have growth potential in New Mexico and have a lot of tax benefits. So are there any questions? No? All right.
Can you talk to us about the area of New Mexico you want to try and locate it?
Okay, so there are 63 zones in New Mexico, opportunity zones, and they're throughout the state. We are equally looking for companies throughout the state. We have a company in Gallup, a company in Tucumcari, a company in Las Cruces, and then we have several companies in the Albuquerque and Santa Fe area, and Los Lunas. The hemp, interesting, a couple of things that when they set up the opportunity zones, they set up a whole county as an opportunity zone because it's all agriculture. And there's a large opportunity for hemp and if they pass the cannabis and that. Then they set up a city as an opportunity zone. So we're going to be the opportunity zone for the city. And the city down in that area, Facebook has built a large data center. Amazon's building a data center. And Walmart has there's no housing. So they're commuting back, and so we're looking at real communities as to be the community where we set up an agri-living type of situation, where there's agriculture and living for townhouses and affordable houses for the people that work in that area. The location is 20 to 40 miles south of Albuquerque. Okay. Any other? Job creation. Housing is probably one of the biggest issues in affordable housing in the Los Lunas. There's a need for 4,000. Los Alamos Lab announced a month ago they're hiring 1,000 people. There's no housing for them. There's an opportunity zone just near Espanola that would be a perfect place for housing. We've been working with Los Alamos to see how we could work with them. But you go to the south to the Carlsbad area, you have the oil industry boom. They have a need for 7,000 homes. That's a that's a car this dog doesn't want to catch. I went there because of the problem with finding people at McDonald's are making $22.50 an hour. Where are you going to find the workforce to build homes? So we're going to focus where we're focusing in the northern New Mexico area. Did you have a question? Yes, sir.
You said some light on the parameters of what kind of businesses you're going to invest in besides just small businesses?
Sure. Let me do, if it's all right. So one of the first I own part of this business is when I first came back home to New Mexico, I said there's no manufacturing industry. We're going to be building homes and products using shipping containers. And the welding, Navajos are known for welding. We have a huge amount of money that was invested in New Mexico for trades. And so this is a trade that they can do. So this is one part of it is the homes. The other part is what we call factory direct, is tiny homes, hydroponic gardens. We have an order for houseboats. That's one of the companies, facility in Gallup and a facility in Albuquerque. Oops. The others, we have a Nibula Hemp, and they're involved in not so much in the CBD oil, and they're looking at more at manufacturing of products like paper products and other products. They want to take the art of basket weaving, for example, for Native Americans, use hemp to weave products and create furniture, and that's one of the that we're working with, one of the companies. Of course, there's my film company is in New Mexico right now. Film industry. There's the number one industry in New Mexico is government. Number 2 is oil. Number 3 is tourism. Number 4 is film and television. And the film and television, Netflix just bought Albuquerque Studios. NBC Universal has just opened up a studio there. A company called Quibi, which is a new company that Jeff Kazenberg, they're looking at setting up studios there. And there's that whole movement. And the reason there's a whole movement of the industry there is because of the tax rebates or rebates. So for every dollar you spend in New Mexico, they give you 25 cents back in a check.
In that, with the media, is that an opportunity for an opportunity zone to set up like trade schools for all the work involved in that media?
The state itself has dedicated a lot of its resources in the universities. So what we're looking at setting up is facilities and producing content from out of New Mexico. What happens now is in the film industry, a lot of what we call the above the line is still coming out of LA. We want the above the line to be coming out of New Mexico and the content produced in New Mexico. And one of the main reasons it doesn't come out of New Mexico right now is the lack of capital. So as a producer, I usually fund my films from Hong Kong or foreign sales, but we're working on that. This project here is with Sandia Labs, is a jet suit racing. They're basically drones that you ride on. Sandia has put in about $150,000 into the development of the prototypes. They see a lot of applications for the military. I saw the application for the entertainment value for the film company. So there's a tie. There's also some ties between the companies. We have gotten a letter of intent from the city of Dubai, the police department. They want 5 units so that they can fly over, and so that's a good potential for having what I call you have our focus right now is to do the entertainment value of it racing and with the X game type model. But we've already been approached by the military, for example. They feel it'd be a good way to get a medic into a battle directly into and then put the patient and fly him out. So that one has a lot of potential. And that's in a very, very early stage. But Shriek Eagle, this is I don't know, there was a company that was building jets there in Albuquerque that went bankrupt. One of the companies that came out of that is a company that does they upgrade the controls to, from analog to digital. And there's a huge market right now to upgrade and maintain This Neosand Labs is a company that came out of national laboratories. They created chemicals for cleaning and sanitizing. The sales office is there in Albuquerque. They got the license on a technology transfer deal. What happened is that they didn't have enough money to do the manufacturing. So the manufacturing went to Minnesota. We want to get that back. But the way we get that back is by building up the sales of this company. Soil Secrets is another, it's a New Mexico biometric soil health company, and they manufacture some products for the agriculture. They're very much interested in the hemp. I know I'm taking up too much time. And then there's in Tucumcari, there's a bio plant that is now reconfiguring and going to create manure and cheese waste and other agriculture into power. So that's just an example of some of the companies that we're looking. We find these companies, and they're all in that same place. They have a proven concept. They have great management. They don't know how to sell. They don't have money to sell. They get your sales up. So that's what we're investing in. Get your sales up, and then we'll find the other rounds that we don't have to lose you. We have to bring you back. And that's my presentation. Thank you.